It looks like the room.
Yeah.
Well, that's that main room over there. So this is our recording studio. We've done one show on this one.
There's bugs, huh? It's gonna break and crash and go crazy. Second time.
What?
Have I got you scared yet?
Bree, real quick, you just want to tap on the mic. Make sure we have one. Yeah. Okay, so that's Bree's. Now turn that one off. You want to do the same thing. Just tap on it. Okay, same thing.
Tap, 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 tap.
Perfect. You know that's better.
Just tap it better.
So those guys are hot. Way hotter than you, so I'll go ahead and turn those guys down a little bit.
It's so weird. Everybody says that I speak so low and they have to bump me up all the time. Yet when I watch the replays of the races, not the show, but I'm constantly like peaking the mic.
Yeah, well, you just got his nice close. That's the other thing. Make sure everybody's
Oh, yeah.
close to the microphone.
Microphone's uncomfortably close.
Yeah. I think you did work with this before.
No, never worked with the station, just with Eagle. Well, and the finish line.
Do we need to test with the kids at all?
You can test them, and then if you don't really like it, just let them know and we'll cut that part out.
Would I just put this headset on real quick and say, hey, speaking to the mic?
Yeah, so if you want to, like Jackson, you can test it and be like, hey, test the kids real quick, and Jackson give you a thumbs up. If you want to listen yourself, though, you can hop over there and just grab the headset. So it makes it.
Okay.
But
sounds good.
If that makes sense, Jackson. Test the kids' audios too.
Yeah,
I don't know how to test it.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah, just keep them uncomfortably close. They'll be all right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hold your horses.
All messed up.
Well, I might break this before we get going, but it's fine.
Nope, just loose and then tight. You got her.
There's
You
somebody
got her.
now.
Don't lick it.
I'm not. Look at that makeup.
I know.
I'm not doing it.
Doesn't look very tasty.
A little crunchy.
They won't let me eat on the microphone anymore. Thanks to Dan.
So do we want to say SRT Motorsports or Strange Racing Team?
It's Strange Racing Team. Strange Motorsports is kind of my.
You guys are good to go. Let's see, guys.
Okay. Are you standing here with us?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now we know it's recording.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. Okay, I'm ready. You guys ready? Okay. Welcome into the finish line at 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, James Roland, and we've got a few special guests today. The first one we're bringing on is Billy Strange of SRT, Strange Racing Team. And he's got some fun things he will talk about coming up. We've also got some kiddos that will be on to kind of share their view of racing as well. So make sure you stay tuned on that. Just a reminder for those who are joining us that you can listen to us in your car and on our 93.7 The Ticket app, and also watch on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and Allo Channel 961. Normally, you can call in or text into 402-464-5685. James and I, at this time, by time you're watching, decided to go racing. So this is actually a surprise. It's actually a pre-recorded show, but certainly leave your comments. We'll see them. We can address them the next show, and make sure you listen into our other great co-worker shows as well. This show is brought to us by Stern Co. Stern Company is your lubricant provider, and they should be the only one you're going to. I use their stuff, their Mobil One products in my race car, from rear end grease, transmission fluid, all the way to engine oil. You know, we got top of the line equipment. We want top of the line products in that equipment. So make sure you check out Stern Co. And then also Eagle Raceway. Eagle Raceway has Saturday nights packed, loaded with lots of fun, lots of different types of racing, but they also have a miniature track for the kids that will be on. So make sure you check out Eagle Raceway as well. We couldn't do it without those great partners. Since we have so many guests today, I do want to get started. So before I get into this, Billy, I grew up racing go-karts, and I was given the opportunity by some friends to get back into go-karts every once in a while. And through that, I reconnected with some old friends, Heather and Billy Strange. And they kind of tossed around something that I know they had in the works for a while, but they do this really great thing where they're trying to get kids to be good sports in the sport of racing and go-kart racing. And I think they're really making an impact, and it's something I've liked watching, and it's kind of taken force in the last few years. So Billy, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do and what you're here for.
Well, I am Billy Strange, obviously the main driver for the Strange Racing team. We have Strange Motorsports is our Facebook page. We also have a TikTok that the wife manages and does all that crazy stuff because I'm not tech savvy. But
You and me both, buddy.
I appreciate you guys having me here.
Yeah, of course.
It's been kind of a small dream to put together some kind of trophy for sportsmanship. So we kind of gathered some ideas and threw some images together and had some sweet trophies made.
Can I hold them up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, have at it.
I've always wanted to be Vanna White. For those of you listening, you can catch us on YouTube and Facebook to watch us as well, but they're super cool trophies. We'll get some pictures posted later on them. But anyways.
Yeah, that's your angry goat carter is what we went with that because it's a complete contradiction to what it stands for, but it works.
So is Goat Carter, is that because you're Billy, like Billy Goat? Is
You know
that? Is
right?
it really?
Heck yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was going to shame you if it wasn't. That's hilarious.
Yes, it is.
The beard is the Billy Goat's gruff.
It is. I used to have a beard down to almost my belly button, so it kind of fell from that.
Got
James-
it caught in the belts one day and just decided to cut it off.
A drill or two.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Anyway, so you've got this great sportsmanship trophy, and I know you and Heather and some other people, like especially at Blue River Raceway, have worked really hard at establishing kind of a general guideline of what you are looking for, because you're out there racing, but you're also watching. And obviously, you know, there's kids, we need to take care of them and kind of make sure that they're acting right. But what are you watching for when you go to nominate a driver at the end of the night?
Ultimately, we want to see the kids being kids. We don't want to see dirty driving because that just doesn't cut it with us at all.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother Mike can teach you about that one.
I'll send him this video. Actually, I'm the one who door slams him. We talked about it last week. Anyways.
But yeah, no, we want to see good hard racing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dooring somebody's not off the table. If you need to door somebody, get around them.
Especially your brother.
Hey, that's great. But
No, I'm kidding.
no, we've seen some really good racing this year. Just being patient,
Mm-hmm.
driving good lines, making good decisions, seeing ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you come off the track, if you make a bobble, lose a bunch of positions, you're not hanging your head.
You're not.
You're
throwing
actually
your,
having fun.
Yep. You're not throwing your equipment. You're
Right.
you're being a good sport. Now, I think there's correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some more that goes into it too, and it's not just about the sportsmanship, but it's developing these young drivers from what I have seen. As well as how they conduct themselves at their pits. So is there some things that they need to be doing at their pits as well?
If mom and dad is pushing the cart up
Mm-hmm.
and they're not strapped into it, say it's
Mhm.
a cage cart, they should probably be doing some of the work. We don't clean tires so much at Creep, but if we did that there, I would like to see them hands-on.
Mhm.
They do work on their carts. A lot of them actually do get hands-on and work on them. It could be throwing a football too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, be a kid, but understand you're there for a purpose at the same time. So it's really good to see these kids get their hands dirty.
I like it. And do you think how many trophies have you handed out so far this year?
We are 6 races in, I believe.
Mhm.
So it's 1 per race.
1 per race. And that's out of any class, right?
It is only kid classes.
Oh,
All right.
So like your Carlisle class, it contains kids and ancient guys.
Mhm.
So we don't even look at that class to be considered. But anything else is
So I can get in that class, and then I can have my brother also get in that class, and I can just door him, right?
absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
I'd love to see that.
All right, well, then I'm going to fence you.
So I like that. I like that. And do you feel that it's starting to, I mean, I see it, but from someone who has seen it from start to finish, do you think it's really making a difference, or the kids are starting to notice?
I think they are. We've had some kids that is their prize trophy. They put it on their nightstand, and Heather can elaborate more. She keeps in touch with the parents more and gets more of the info than I do. But it seems like that is a prize for them. So I hope it's something that continues to the future. And and they continue to dig and do the right thing.
I like it. And what track primarily are you doing this at? Because obviously there's only a few of you that can do the watching, and you can't be at every single show and every single race.
Right. And this is only exclusive to Blue River.
For now.
For now. If we can expand this, ultimately Eagle will be the next target.
Mm-hmm.
If we can continue this going for year to year, Eagle will be getting trophies. So,
and what's the reason that you wanted to do this?
Your future race drivers, the Bree Maries of the future, they're not all going to stay in go-karts forever.
No.
I see a whole lot of nasty driving on the track, a whole lot of bad tempers. There's several guys out there that can really wheel a car, but nobody likes them because of their attitude or how they act. So if we can kind of mold these kids into something a little better, why not?
And I think that I love that, because I think that was something that's just an extra incentive. Like, you have that in sports, you have that in school. So why aren't we doing it in this sport as well? Like, I know growing up that wasn't there. You needed to act a certain way, and hopefully your parents were there looking out for you and making sure you were in line. Like, I couldn't act a certain way or I would get in trouble, but you can't say that for all kids, obviously. And I think your parents obviously can't watch you 24/7 either. So I really like what you guys are doing, and I think I'm excited to see this 10 years down the road. I want to see how those drivers develop, even if they don't stay in driving, just the type of person they become,
right?
Because they've been held to a higher standard.
Yes, and we do. That's part of our SRT team, is that standard of driver. We want that kid that is that standard, and they're naturally there. We don't necessarily want somebody to change how they are or who they are to try to fit in. They're already there.
But if they're bettering themselves, I mean, that's kind of something, I was a sticker chart kid. I don't love to admit it, but, 7-year-old Bree, believe it or not, had an attitude in school. And my mom's probably laughing as soon as she watches this. And so I got sticker charts to make sure I was being good or getting my homework done. And it was just kind of an incentive. And I do think that those tools were in place when I was a kid, because I feel like that has, out of many things, contributed to who I am now. And so I just love what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's definitely something that, as you mentioned, is geared towards just continuing to improve racing as the generations go by. We've seen it a lot of kids coming up from the go-kart ranks to racing on the big track on Saturday night. And that just kind of seems to be a really consistent pipeline that we're going through over the last, 10 years or so. A lot of kids came up through go-karts, but we're really starting to see a lot more of it. Aiden Floyd's really kind of starting to make some waves in the sport mods. I'm sure there's a ton that I'm missing, but that's just kind of the first. Yeah, Caleb Woodard has been putting on a heater this year.
No one believed me. I told some friends, I was like, listen, he's getting a sport mod. Y'all better watch out. Yeah. And they're like, no way, he's going to be a rookie. I was like, I don't think you understand.
Game over.
And it's like, you hear people making all these excuses. Now I see it online because, keyboard warriors. But look at his lap times. Kid's consistent. He always has been. He was that way. He's put in so many laps, and he's had so many good adults in his life to kind of help mold who he is. And he's just a good kid. He's a good sport, and he's probably not liking that I call him a kid anymore. He's obviously not a kid anymore. Sorry, Caleb.
How old is he at this point? 14? Like
no,
looks wise.
He's probably, sorry, Caleb. He's probably like 21. Yeah,
really?
I thought he just had his 21st birthday.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. I've called one of his wins at Beatrice. I know he's won at Columbus. He's won over at Stewart. Man, that show that he put on a couple weeks ago at Stewart was insane. He was moving. Russ Johnson put me onto him a couple of months ago before the season got started, and it's like, man, you really got to keep an eye on that kid because he is quick.
Hey, even Braden Carter, because I think he ran second to him, was like, hey, that kid's fast, that Woodard kid. And I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, for the record, I called it. I was like, he's going to be fast. He's going to be a threat. And he is. He's definitely dominating. But he came from the go-kart rinks. He raced out at Blue River last year, I think, one time in like Brandon Johnson's kart or something.
He ran a modified.
And then he's also ran at Mini E. Him and I have ran at Mini E together. So it's just, it really is future of racing.
Absolutely.
So
I might have to go down there and have a beer with him one of these days.
I'm sure he would like that as a fresh 21-year-old.
Yep.
All righty. We will get those. Let's get those kiddos on here. Billy, do you have any closing statements?
Oh, I'd love to thank a sponsor or two if you got time for that.
Absolutely. We have time for that.
Well, maybe not so much a sponsor, but a heck of a friend, Todd Weber with Weber Fabrications. I know you know him. Great guy.
I like Todd.
He has helped me out quite a bit. He is a sponsor. I will sport his stuff till the day I die. Love that man to death. Alpha Electrical Contractors out of Plattsmouth. John Mays. Brilliant man with electrical stuff. Residential commercials, give him a yell.
Okay.
He will get you fixed.
We can do that.
And then Corey Hobscheit with Hobscheit Motors down in Plattsmouth down there. He actually sponsored our medical supplies this year, so we're in really good place there.
All righty. Well, James, if you want to take us out, we'll go ahead and grab the kiddos.
All right. Keep it tuned in here to the finish line. 93.7 The Ticket. As uncomfortably close as you can have it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got to be up on that thing.
All right.
And then, like I told Easton, no cursing. But he can hit a bail button. It's just, do you want your grandma to see that or not? Okay. Just checking.
Go back and cut it out.
Oh, man.
Perfect.
If it happens.
How old are you guys?
I'm 12.
14? 12? Perfect. I guess I could ask you guys that. Are we ready? Sorry.
Yeah, that's a great question. How old are you? When did you start racing?
Yeah, you guys should be
You don't have to answer
Okay.
that right now. We'll wait till we get rolling.
Check 1 2 1 2.
That's great. Hang out.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Take that bashful out of your voice. You got this.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back into the finish line on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, James Roland, and we have Easton. I'm so sorry I forgot how to say your last name.
Livier.
Livier. All right, we've got Easton with us. Easton is an angry go-karter racer, as Billy just said. He's a member of the SRT Strange Racing team. He races a variety of different classes, and we'd like to talk a little bit about his racing career. So, Easton, how old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
12 years old. And what do you race?
I race adult cage, adult flat predator, cage 206, and Carlisle cage.
So do you just like get out of your cart right away and run to the next one?
Yep, that's basically how it is.
Perfect. And how long have you been racing, Easton?
4 years. I'm going on to my 5th this year.
Okay, so math, help me out. 7?
No, 8.
8? Okay.
Close.
Maybe we could cut that one out. I don't know. So, Easton, when you were approached by Billy and Heather, and they had this idea of joining their group of angry go-karters, their SRT team, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was cool because you could actually help people and be able to gain more friends, and I don't know how to say it, but just teach more people with all my knowledge about racing.
Because you've been, I mean, obviously you've got 5 years under your belt and racing so many different classes. You've got a few wins and a few championships.
Yep.
Do you know the number?
I think last year I got like 8 championships, and I just got my 100 win. This year I'm on 104.
Maybe you should be doing this show. You could take my spot next week.
104 wins over 4 divisions.
Well, I just added my 4th this year, but I had 3. Then, I started out with 1, then 2, and then it just went on with the years.
Yep, that's racing. It's a snowball effect. Once you get going, you can't quit.
So do you have like, I'm just trying to take notes. Do you have like a race day ritual you do, or like certain, I don't know. How do I get some of
on
this?
race day?
Usually nothing because, on Sundays we have to be out on the track. It's usually just a Casey's Pizza.
Casey's Pizza.
Bacon or sausage?
Ooh, sausage.
Or are we talking lunchtime?
Morning sausage.
All right, perfect.
Ooh, the
Good
breakfast
choice.
pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think I found our next sponsor. If you're listening out there, I know Casey's loves dirt track racing, and we love Casey's.
Oh, yes, we do. Very much so. Insert somber music, happy music. I don't know. Something.
They might be able to do that.
They
Be
might.
careful. We're
Well,
pre-recording.
there's like 150 in Nebraska, so
150 Casey's.
that's just the assumption.
Almost 150 wins.
All right, let's leave the gas station and get back to the racetrack.
Well, I know how much you like to talk about racetrack food, James. Do you have a question on that one?
Actually, I haven't been to Blue River since they were doing demo derbies there when I was a kid, and it was known as Tuxedo Park. I guess it is still in Tuxedo Park. So, yeah, we're going to have to change that some Sunday here soon. But what is the go-to concession item at Blue River Raceway?
Well, usually I don't get to eat because, like,
You're sitting in the car and they won't let you eat with your suit on?
no, because I don't eat during race time or like when hot laps start because the cart shakes so much and it upsets my stomach. I learned that out the hard
That's
way.
believable. And I mean, in racing, sometimes you got to make the dash.
I like it. So how on earth did you get started in racing?
Well, it's been in my blood, and then Brandon started dating my mom, and then Brandon's like, I'm going to put you in a flat car. I'm like, okay, try it racing. I've loved it, so I'm currently liking it so far.
That's good. And do you have any goals, whether they're immediate or maybe later on down the road, like a specific racing class you'd like to be in someday?
I would like to go on to race Lucas Oil late models and win a championship or a few.
I think that's a good one. Just making sure you didn't say sprint cars.
No.
These wide body kids these days.
Honestly, a sprint car would still be pretty cool.
Yeah, I love them all, but
It just feels, you kind of look at them and it's like you race on a toilet.
A toilet?
Yeah.
Please explain.
Because you're sitting like this.
you don't sit near as tall as you'd sit on a toilet in a sprint car. I mean, you're still sitting down low.
So wait, okay. Is the toilet the sprint car or the late model? Because I've got different visuals happening.
Well, because you're like this and a late model, but you're sitting up like this in a sprint car.
All right, you're okay. You're starting
Okay.
to make a little bit more sense here.
So we don't like sprint cars because it looks like you're sitting on a toilet.
And who wants to get pushed by someone?
Yep, taking up time at the track.
Oh,
I feel like
And-
there's
and-
started.
And it's like, just never liked them.
It's all right. You sound my parents were never sprint car people, and they raised a fanatic. So
I'm
you know,
interested.
sometimes it be that way. Somebody, you never know. Somebody might listen to this, and once you're old enough, they might call you up and be like, "Hey, you want to come hot lap this sprint car?" And I bet
See,
you're.
I would do that.
I bet. I see. I knew you
For
would.
the
You're a
record.
racer.
I would hot lap a sprint car just to say I did it, but I would never race like a sprint car like part time or full time.
Even if
Until
someone
after
gave
you
you,
hot lapped it.
yeah, even if someone gave you a ride, like a free ride, and said,
Yeah,
"Hey, come race
would-
this."
I would do that, but it would just be a selection of races like Ricky does.
Oh my! You know, I hope this stays in the archives, and one day you're running with the World of Outlaws in the sprint car division, and we can replay this clip.
I agree wholeheartedly, but high limit.
Okay, high limit. That works.
They show love to our local tracks, so I'm gonna show love to them.
They do. They do.
Thanks, Brad and Kyle.
Well, when you're racing for 55 grand and it's just like everybody goes as hard as they could for what 40 laps was it?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, it makes it's a lot of action, but like once you get on like a half mile, it's just like okay, there's one pass.
So at Eagle, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, because Larson in the B main was just throwing absolute haymakers with somebody. Wasn't it Tim's?
Yeah, you get a couple more slide jobs out of them sprint cars, but let's reel it back into Blue River Raceway on Sunday afternoons. Rolling through 12 years old, you got 104 wins to your resume. What's going to make a successful 2025? Because I know in racing, the goal is always to continue to improve and not regress.
See, my improvement, I think, would be to get more than like 50 feature wins because I got 46 last year, I'm pretty sure. And so I just want to top last year after last year was like an amazing season, but I still want to top it.
So were you in adult divisions last year, though?
No, I was in juniors.
So do you see it being a little trickier this year, or what's kind of?
It's like me. I'm a 12-year-old, and I'm pretty sure there's a 50-year-old.
Mhm.
It's just usually there's a lot of like from 15 to 20-ish people, but it's just like I'm 12 and I'm racing with basically full-grown men. So
Do you feel like you're learning more things by exposing yourself to older people?
yeah, because without the restrictor on the carburetor, you don't get as much wheel spin because in restricted you could just full bore it around the whole entire track, but once you get on a slick track with a adult, you actually kind of have to pedal it because if you just go full force, it's just like just spinning and you can feel it. It's like, and then you see people going by you. It's like
Just
whoa.
spinning the tires.
Yep.
Scrubbing speed away.
So it is teaching you some things. So what's your game plan to? You've got 4, right? Feature
Yeah.
wins already. So what's your game plan this year to tackle that big 5-0?
Just be as consistent as possible, and you just gotta go hard every lap.
I like it. That's a good goal. Send it.
Just gonna send it.
Just gonna send it.
Well, let's send it into another quick break here on the finish line.
That works.
Can I get a test from you?
Hello.
All right, you guys good to go.
This is always a weird part. If it's not live, I'm like panicking. Welcome back into the finish line on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, joined by James Roland. Wait, hold on. We don't have to do that because it's going to be a fade.
Yeah.
We're just going to start. That was lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're joined here by.
Yeah. I got this, guys.
I know you do.
Snyder.
Oh, that's way easier. We're joined here with Reagan Snyder, another angry go-karter, but she's been smiling this whole time, so I don't think she's that angry. She's a member of the Strange Racing team, racing go-karts at Blue River, as well as other tracks. And maybe she'll talk about toilet bowls. I don't know, but I think she might have a disagreement with Easton on the favorite. He's doing dance moves in the corner right now. That's lovely. On the favorite type of race car to get into. So, Reagan, I'm going to go straight to you, girl. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14. Okay. And how long have you been racing?
I'm going on to like a full year of racing already.
Okay. So, this is your first full year of racing. How do you feel about your first full year?
It's definitely a lot to take in.
Okay. Do you feel like, have you raced anything before or done any competitive sports at all?
The only other thing I've done is I shoot trap.
Okay, that's cool. I don't think I could aim. I wouldn't be that good at that.
It's
Racing.
easy. We should go.
Okay, I was going to say racing's even a little questionable, but trap shooting, ball stick sports, not really my thing. So, like, you have somewhat of a competitive side to you, obviously. What got you into racing?
Well, I grew up running around Eagle, like
Okay.
watching big cars, and then one of my mom's ladies that she worked with, her grandson used to race, or does currently.
And that was go-karts then?
Yep.
And so were you just like, I want to get in one of those? Or you were, okay. What was your first thought when you got in one and turned some laps?
I'm going to be completely honest. The first time I ran was at Blue River. It was during a heat race, and I came out of my cart sobbing.
Why? Why were you sobbing?
I was terrified.
I like the honesty. You know,
It'd be like that sometimes.
I sobbed earlier this year. It's fine. I was leading a feature, and there was like 7 yellows.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah, I did too.
We
with
got
tears
rained
in
out
my
that night.
eyes. Yeah. So okay, but what made you get back in? Like, you obviously didn't give up.
I grew up in a big family, so it's one of those things where you don't give up. Even if you think it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, just keep trying.
And are you glad you did?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you feel now getting into the cart?
It's like euphoric to get in. Like putting on my helmet, like rolling down to staging and getting ready to get on that track is like the greatest feeling I've ever.
I like that.
Yeah, every other worry kind of just fades out the window, and you can truly focus on one thing.
Right.
What's your favorite racing memory so far?
Probably my big wreck from this season.
Do tell. Go into detail.
So we were in the middle of, I think, my B feature, and me and another cart spun out in front of me, and there's 2 cars on the other side of me, so the only way I could go was into the front end of this car.
Oh boy.
And I barrel rolled over a whole cart, landed into the Blue River catch fence, and then I hit my head on the ground twice. And
6 rolls, huh?
yeah.
Big shout out to Matt with Empire Fence. Thanks
Yeah.
for putting up a great fence over at Blue River Raceway.
So that's scary. You're okay, I take it? Obviously, firing on all cylinders.
Yep, walked away with a minor concussion and a dent in the catch fence.
Hey, left your mark. I like it.
Was it difficult to get back in the next week? You know, like just kind of get back on the horse, for lack of a better term?
I mean, kind of. It was like your world kind of stops, and you're like, well, it kind of registers to you how dangerous the sport can actually be.
So what are some precautions that you take to make sure you are safe?
Making sure I'm strapped in as tight as possible, and that like everything is gonna keep me in my cart.
And what all do you have other than your belt? It sounds like you've got a 5-point harness.
Mhm.
What else do you have that keeps you safe?
I have a helmet and then a zampons and then
Okay.
my wrist restraints.
And then you've got like a full fire suit, right?
Yep.
Okay. We used to cowboy it. Well, I grew up with flat carts and we just had like a jacket and jeans, and the adults still do that sometimes.
Oh man, I can't
indoors.
get in anything without Nomex pants on.
But like I get it if you're strapped in and you've got a cage cart
Mhm.
all around you. So what class do you race?
I run the Cage Junior too.
Okay, Cage Junior 2. I like it. Do you have are there any certain like rivals out there at all, or like friends that you just want to, if you see them you kind of blink, or you know what I mean, like
Not really, because like at the end of the day, I can't be mad at any of these people. Like
Yeah, that's
whether or
true.
not like they're just out there doing the same thing I am, trying to make it big.
yes, that is the perfect answer. I love that. And that's why you're on the Strange Racing team too, I suppose. What did you feel when they asked you to join the team?
It was kind of surprising to me at first because I was barely like a little over half a season into this and like kind of just trying to figure it out on my own, and finding out that people are actually out there watching the kind of sportsmanship you have and the people that you are felt like things paid off.
I like that.
What-
That's yeah.
What kind of stuff have you learned at the racetrack that you can take to school and just your everyday life?
Probably like making sure that everybody's okay, like checking in on everyone, even if you race against them and they roughed you up pretty good on the track. You just have to go in and make sure that everybody's still having a good time.
That's what it's all about. We're here to have fun.
I might cry. Yes, that was good. I love that, and that sounds just like what Billy was talking about earlier. Allowing kids to be kids, but to also grow into good people. And it sounds like you and Easton are both there. So I'm very excited to see both of your futures. Speaking of futures, I know Easton had very strong opinions about late models being superior to toilets of sprint cars. Sprint car fans, please don't come after me. Those are a 12-year-old's opinions. What do you want to get in someday?
I want to get into either a sprint car or a stock.
Okay.
Oh, I do love a stock car.
Honestly, I like them. If you had, would you drive a late model if you were given the opportunity, though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. You don't judge. As it's a race car, right?
exactly.
I like it. So, what drew you to sprint car racing? Is it family or?
Not really. I think I have a great uncle on my grandma's side that raced, and I never met him. But one of the biggest things that pulled me into sprint cars was watching Shaylee.
Shaylee? Yep. I was wondering. So, Shaylee, your idol?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I like it. Shout out Shaylee. She will be on our show. I forgot to tell you this, James. She'll be on our show in a few weeks, I believe. So we'll have to keep an eye out for her as well, and we'll have to maybe get you an autograph or something signed. So that's awesome. And Shaylee, actually, she came up through go-karts. She started at Wavelink. I don't know if she ever ran Mini E, but I know her sisters Mariah and Chantel did. We grew up racing together, so that's another one of those things. You kind of see them start to finish there. So, do you think you'd be 305 sprints, or would you ultimately just want to go straight to 410s and just gun it?
Well, I think I'd want to start out with a 305, but ultimately work up to jumping in a 410.
I like it. Is there a specific track that you would want to race at the most?
Not really.
No, just racing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it.
I know a great track right down the road that runs Race Savers
Yeah.
every week. We can get you set up.
What track is that, James?
Well, that'd be America's home track, Eagle Raceway,
Oh.
where you can catch all the greatest racing action every Saturday night, late April through Labor Day weekend. Actually, a week after Labor Day weekend for the Tyler Perry Enterprises Stewart Alley Memorial.
Yes, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. All right. Well, Reagan, do you have any sponsors or anyone that you'd like to thank?
I think I'd like to thank Rage Midwest, High Hopes Dispensary, my Grandma Rose's Cake Decorating, Kat Newman, and my Grandpa Terry.
I like it. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Reagan, for coming on. We hope to look forward to you. I totally forgot to ask this. Reagan, what is your race number?
18S.
18S. And I do have Easton standing in the corner. Easton, what's your race number? 2. 2 or peace sign? I can't tell which. Number 2. He's shaking his head. He's over it. No, I'm kidding. He's been a good sport. So thank you both for coming on, and we look forward to watching you this season in the coming years, and hopefully seeing you both on the big track.
Stay tuned for who's next, because I don't know.
You were listening to The Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket. We good? Okay.
You're gonna have to stare down.
Welcome back into The Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, joined by James Roland and the one and only Heather Strange, Billy Strange's wife. Our last but not least guest on The Finish Line today, one of the founders of the Angry Go-Karter Award and the Strange Racing team. And Reagan just talked about how, you know, she had a big crash and she only walked away with a few scrapes, did have a mild concussion.
Yep.
So I think it's kind of important that we talk about safety because it is kind of serious what these kids are doing. But it's no different than like BMX or going out for tackle football or something like that. There's always risks involved. So as someone who you've raced big cars as well, you've raced modifieds, you've raced down to go-karts, and you are also a nurse, I believe, correct?
Registered medical assistant.
Okay.
With
Okay.
X-ray. I got
Perfect.
plenty of it behind me.
And you're also safety at the track. So
Yep.
what is something that you see that needs to be happening or maybe already is happening with safety? What's required of kids before they go out and they race?
So big thing is the full containment seat in the cage carts for sure. Which she does now have the full containment seat.
Kind of like a car seat, right?
For in big car, yes. She was really claustrophobic
Mhm.
in the seat that she had, so not in a full containment seat. So they did try that first. She was really claustrophobic, didn't like that. After this wreck, everything changed for her. She wears the Hans device. So with that Hans device, it sits and it connects to her helmet, but that kept her from just going forward and backward. It did not help with the side to side. That full containment seat comes around and it keeps her really secured. Whereas like in flat karting, you get your neck roll and that keeps you, from head neck injuries with your helmet. She walked away, like she said, with few scratches here and there, minor concussion. It could have been a lot worse. She was stuck in the catch fence after that roll. It was pretty bad.
What are some things that you've noticed that maybe you'd like to see parents doing more of, like maybe tightening belts more?
Yes. So the biggest thing is if it's uncomfortable, it's tight. Especially because when we're racing, we're going left. Those straps are going to come a little loose.
Yep.
And they do.
Oh,
100%.
for sure.
Because as fast as we're going, that repetitive motion, you're probably going to have one come a little bit looser. And I've had that happen with actually one of our other SRT drivers, Amber, in a soft roll. And everybody thought, oh my gosh, she didn't have them tight enough. They were cinched down as tight as they could go. But in the motion of that roll, it actually come undone a little bit more. So if it is cinched down and it's uncomfortable, that is as tight as it needs to be. So if we can cinch them down until it's completely uncomfortable, then you can send them out. Their wrist restraints, they need to be completely secured and probably a little uncomfortable because it's going to happen too. They're going to come a little bit loosened as you're racing.
But uncomfortable is nothing compared to getting hurt.
Right.
So.
Right. Safety is a huge thing.
And
you want your driver to come off that track in one piece.
Yes, I agree. So it sounds like the kids got, especially in the cage carts, because it's different than the flat carts, but it sounds like they've got the wrist restraints, they've got the helmet, the neck brace, they've got the 5-point harness, the full containment seat, the fire retardant suit, and gloves and shoes. So it sounds like really they're probably safer than they are in the car, is what I'm guessing.
A lot of times.
Yes.
And we want our suits for these kiddos and adult drivers too. You don't want them to have tears. I mean, if you've got a tear, you want to get a new suit.
Yes.
I mean, nobody wants to like race a heat race and have something happen and then you be able to go out for a feature. You can probably patch it for that, but
yeah, well,
definitely get a new. I mean, I'm not going to stop racing for that night, but
yeah,
patch it up for the night, but definitely get a new suit.
And what are your thoughts on, because I know when we raced flat carts, like for girls, having our hair sticking out of our helmet was a huge thing, and they always told you to tuck it in so it didn't get caught in the chain.
Absolutely.
Is that still a thing with cage carts?
Huge cage carts, flat carts, big car, like tuck your hair in.
Tuck your hair in.
Braid it, pull it back, tuck it in your suit, put your helmet on as much as you can.
I
I'm
like
gonna have
it.
to remember that for when I get one.
Or your
And
beard.
beard. Yes. So Billy used to have this like super long, like he cut off like 13 inches of a beard. Like it was like
Oh my goodness.
I would braid it when we go on the motorcycle and everything. And he would get so annoyed racing because he's like, it was just like, I was like, okay, we're braiding it for the races and you're tucking it in, shove it under your helmet straps, and it's going to literally tuck into your fire suit and go under your neck roll. Like, just like long hair.
Just like long hair.
So you'll have to,
Yeah, we'll grow it out a little bit more.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, are there any closing statements you want to make or any shout outs you want to give?
Well, I don't know if Billy went.
Did go through his sponsors, but I mean, who got you into racing? Who's the whole reason you started? Because you're the reason Billy started.
That is very true. So he would definitely not be racing if it was not for me. If I was to shout out anybody, it would definitely be both sides of my family. My dad, 100%, but both of my grandfathers. So that would be Butch Meyer and Ralph Ryberg, and then my dad, 100%. I wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for them. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today with us,
Well,
Heather.
thank you for having us.
And sharing a little bit about what you guys do. And you guys do accept sponsorships on awards. I don't know about this year yet, but
think
next year, right?
Yes. So I think we are full with them for this year, but anybody that is wanting to jump on for sponsorship for next year, for sure, because we'll keep it going.
Yes.
These kids absolutely look forward to hoping that they're going to be the one to get chosen. And it is like the hardest thing for me and Billy and the person that sponsored to like be watching all of these kid classes and watching for all these, you know, who has the most grit and determination and respect and clean racing and driving, because they all really actually put in a lot of effort. And so, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, race fans, for tuning in to another great episode, and we'll see you back here next. All right, we'll do the outro again because I totally just stumbled all over it like a bad carburetor. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's episode of The Finish Line. Join us back here again next Sunday night, 7 p.m., right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Bam.
That'll create a little bit of